There is a number the state lottery commissions do not print on the back of the ticket. The National Endowment for Financial Education estimates that roughly 70% of major lottery winners experience financial hardship within 5 years of the win. The peer-reviewed Cornell study by Scott Hankins, Mark Hoekstra and Paige Marta Skiba, published in the Review of Economics and Statistics in 2011, found that lottery winners filed for bankruptcy at higher rates than non-winners after the 5-year mark, not lower. The win does not buy the winner out of the trajectory the win was supposed to interrupt. The win accelerates the trajectory in a direction the winner did not contract for. The number on the back of the ticket is the jackpot. The number on the federal Form W2G is the taxable amount. The number neither party prints is the half-life. Dollar General, Cleveland County, Tennessee, 9:47 p.m. on a Tuesday in October 2015.
He has $8.40 in his wallet. He spends 2 of them on a single Powerball Quick Pick because the jackpot has rolled over for the 3rd drawing, and because the cashier at the register, who knows him by his preferred brand of pull tab, mentions the number on the marquee. $50 million advertised. 15 years later, he sits in a 1998 Ford F-150 across a different Dollar General lot. Different store, same chain, same kind of high-pressure sodium light over the same kind of weeknight line. And watches another man buy another single ticket through the front window. Walk the 8 years in between, and the number the commissions do not print on the back of the ticket comes into view. Year 0. The ticket. He scans his ticket against the in-store Check the Numbers terminal at the same Dollar General at 6:45 on Wednesday morning before his 5:30 shift at the meatpacking plant outside town. The 5 numbers match.
Oh my God.
The Powerball matches.
Matched.
The terminal flashes a message it has not flashed in this store in 9 years of the franchise's operation. See store manager. He sees the store manager. The store manager sees the terminal. The store manager calls the district. The district calls Tennessee Lottery's main office in Nashville. The shift at the meatpacking plant starts without him for the first time since 2011. He drives home. He sits in the driveway for 20 minutes with the truck off. The truck is a 1998 F-150 with 188,000 miles on the odometer. He has not gone into the house yet because he does not yet know which version of his life he is bringing inside the door. He has a daughter from a first marriage who has not spoken to him in 4 years. He has 2 stepkids from his current marriage. He has a sister 3 counties over. He has a brother in Knoxville. He has a cousin who has been calling about a roof job for 6 weeks. He cannot yet name to himself what is about to happen to any of those calls. He goes inside. His wife is in the kitchen. He shows her the ticket. He asks her not to tell anyone yet. She agrees. She tells her sister in Knoxville at 1:47 that afternoon, which is the first phone call out from the house and not the worst thing that happens to the next 8 years, but is the first thing that happens to them. By Wednesday night, 3 of her cousins know. By Thursday morning, his foreman at the plant knows. The Lottery Commission's public disclosure window has not opened yet, and the news is already in motion. Year 1. The press conference. Tennessee state law requires public disclosure of major lottery winners. Some states allow anonymous claims. Delaware, Kansas, Maryland, North Dakota, South Carolina, Virginia, Texas, Georgia, Mississippi, and a handful of others on a case-by-case basis. Tennessee is not one of them. He stands at a podium at the Lottery Commission's Nashville office on a Tuesday 2 weeks after the win, holding the oversized check, with his wife standing slightly behind him because she does not want her face on the same shot. The check is for $50 million. The check is not what is going into his bank. The annuity option pays the advertised $50 million over 30 years in graduated annual installments. The cash value lump sum is the present value of those payments at the prevailing Treasury rate. For the October 2015 jackpot, the lump sum advertised at $50 million arrives at approximately $30.5 million before federal withholding. The IRS Form W2G withholds 24% at source on the day of payout.
After full federal taxation at the top marginal bracket, because $30 million in gambling income lands him in the 37% bracket on his next federal return, and Tennessee's zero state income tax on lottery winnings, his actual net comes in at approximately $20.1 million. He thinks he won 50. He won 20. Within the first 90 days, he hires 3 lawyers and a financial advisor he met through one of those lawyers. The estate planning attorney sets up an irrevocable trust to hold the assets, although federal and Tennessee law do not allow him to retroactively transfer the winnings into the trust to claim anonymity. The W-2G has already been issued in his name. The blind trust mechanism that lottery press articles often describe is meaningfully narrower than the press articles imply. The trust controls the disposition of assets going forward. It does not unname the man on the original tax form. Check the trust filings. They are docketed at the Davidson County Chancery Court in Nashville. The filings are public record at the search terminal in the courthouse hallway. The contents of the trust corpus are not public. The structure of the trust is. The annual fee disclosures are. He pays the lawyers $480,000 in the first calendar year of representation. He pays the financial advisor a 1.2% annual asset management fee on $20 million, $240,000 a year, for the privilege of having his assets allocated into a diversified portfolio whose performance he is not in a position to evaluate, and which the advisor characterizes in the quarterly meeting as appropriate to his stage of life and liquidity needs. He does not yet know what either of those phrases mean as financial planning terms of art. He nods. He moves the family out of the small rural ranch on the county road into a temporary rental near downtown Nashville, while the lawyers and the advisor shop for the right kind of property for him. He does not know what that means yet. He will. Year 2. The house. 6 bedrooms, 8 baths, gated community outside Brentwood, Tennessee. Asking price $2.8 million. He pays $2.6 after a closing negotiation that adds him an additional escrow on the home inspection. Property tax $24,000 annually. Maintenance and grounds $48,000. Security service $14,000. Insurance $11,000. The house consumes $97,000 a year in carrying costs before the first light bulb is changed. Then the cars. An F150 Platinum on order at the local dealer for $68,000, an Escalade trim for his wife the dealer recommended would suit the new lot at $92,000, and a third vehicle for his daughter from the first marriage, who has not spoken to him in 4 years and who reaches out 2 months after the press conference. He buys her a car. She accepts it. She does not return to regular contact. The car is at her apartment in Memphis. He has not seen the car in person. Then the family. His parents, $500,000 each. His sister 3 counties over, $250,000. His brother in Knoxville, $250,000. His cousin, who had been calling about a roof job, who is now calling about a startup idea, $80,000 as an investment in an undefined LLC the cousin sets up in week 3 after the funds clear. He does not consult the financial advisor before any of these transfers. The advisor reads about them on a Tuesday morning when the quarterly statement crosses his desk and calls a meeting. He is generous because he loves them. He is generous because the years before October 2015 were years in which he did not have the ability to be generous. And the inability to be generous in those years had its own moral weight that has not been disclosed in any lottery story he has read. He cannot fully separate the love from the relief. He does not try to separate them. The advisor at the meeting tries to walk him through what a sustainable annual family disbursement budget would look like at his net asset level. He hears the advisor. He continues writing checks. His brother-in-law's request arrives at the end of year 2.
The brother-in-law wants to open a barbecue restaurant in Murfreesboro. He has a concept, a location scout, and a friend in Nashville who has worked in restaurants for 9 years. He asks for $400,000. He thinks the restaurant will return 3 times that within 4 years and net the family a multi-generational asset. The brother-in-law is not engaged in a deception, and the brother-in-law is also not the right person to evaluate restaurant economics in Central Tennessee in the back end of 2016. The Bureau of Labor Statistics data on new restaurant failure rates puts the 5-year survival figure at somewhere between 20 and 25%, depending on the published series. And the survival figure counts businesses that are technically open and losing money. He writes the check. Year 3. The compulsive purchase phase. A second residence in Destin, Florida, 3 bedrooms, Gulf-facing, $1.4 million. A boat, a 32-foot Boston whaler, at $245,000, plus slip fees, at the Destin Marina at $720 a month. A fractional jet membership for short-leg domestic trips at annual dues of $43,000 plus per hour usage fees. He has not been farther than Pensacola from home in any direction since 2009, and now he can be in Las Vegas at 5 p.m. on a Friday afternoon at $11,400 a round trip. The first lawsuit arrives at the same time. A man named in the suit as a former co-worker from the meatpacking plant claims they had agreed to split any lottery winnings on a verbal handshake at the lunch table in February 2015. He has no record of this conversation. The suit is filed in the Chancery Court of Cleveland County, Tennessee. The legal fees to defend the suit cost $87,000 across the first 12 months of litigation. The case is dismissed on summary judgment in his favor in Year 4. The legal fees are not refunded. The brother-in-law's restaurant opens in May of Year 3. It closes in November of Year 3. Lost to him as the silent partner, the original $400,000 plus $65,000 in additional working capital he advanced during the September liquidity crisis when the brother-in-law explained that the bank would not extend a line of credit on a 6-month-old business. The brother-in-law does not declare personal bankruptcy. The brother-in-law does not have to. The LLC absorbs the loss. The brother-in-law and his wife, the sister of his wife, stop attending Thanksgiving at the new house. The cousin's startup, which by Year 3 has been rebranded twice as different versions of a logistics-adjacent software concept, is still operational, sort of. The cousin has hired 3 friends from Knoxville. The product is in the perpetual pre-launch stage. The cousin has requested 2 follow-on bridge investments, $60,000 and $40,000, both of which he has provided. A question came up under the previous video, whether the same physical and psychological cost profile a Tier 1 special operator carries shows up at the top of other elite ladders, and whether the lottery winner is one of them. The short answer is yes, and the published clinical literature is robust enough that you can read it directly. The longer answer is the next 40 minutes. If you want it, the subscribe button is in the usual place. Year 4. The escalation. The charity foundation, set up under the advice of the financial advisor as a vehicle for managing the seemingly endless stream of donation requests arriving at the new gated address. He capitalizes the foundation at $3 million in Year 3 and adds $2 million in Year 4. The foundation hires an executive director at $115,000 a year, a program officer at $68,000, a part-time accountant, and a part-time administrative assistant. The foundation's overhead in Year 4 runs at 23% of disbursements, well above the 15% benchmark that mid-tier charity evaluation services flag as a concern. The marriage from October 2015 is in its terminal phase by the second quarter of Year 4. Divorce filing in Davidson County Chancery Court. Settlement finalized in the fourth quarter. He pays his ex-wife $4.7 million net of legal fees in the settlement.
The settlement includes the Escalade and the Florida residence and a 4-bedroom condo in Knoxville, and 22% of his liquid securities position as of the filing date. The settlement does not include the foundation, which is structurally separate from the marital estate. The new partner arrives in year 4. The new partner is a woman the ex-wife's counsel describes in the proceedings as a person of interest. The new partner is a real person with a real history and real reasons for her interest in him. The new partner is also not the kind of partner the ex-wife was, in ways the ex-wife's counsel imputes correctly and incorrectly across different motions. He does not have the patience for the litigation. He signs. The local media catches up. A reporter at the Nashville Tennessean files a profile piece in year 4. TMZ runs a single brief item. The local news station does a follow-up at the gated address, which the security service turns away at the gate. He stops going to the grocery store. He stops going to the bank in person. He has groceries delivered. He has Postmates and Instacart accounts. He has not stood in a checkout line in 3 years. The brother-in-law's wife, his sister-in-law, files a Chancery Court motion in year 4, claiming he owes the restaurant LLC additional capital under an alleged oral agreement at the September 2016 liquidity meeting. The motion is dismissed. The legal fees are not. He doesn't say that part to his sister. He has not been speaking to his sister since the restaurant closed. He does not know how to call her. He does not know what he would say if she answered. The new partner moves out at the end of year 4. The Brentwood house is his, sole and separate, by the divorce settlement, and she signs an exit document that the lawyers structure to prevent a follow-on claim. He is now in a 6,800 square foot house alone. Year 6. The decline. The tax bill the financial advisor warned him about in year 2, the federal capital gains he did not withhold properly on the partial liquidation of his securities position to fund the year 3 purchases, arrives with penalties and interest in year 5 and grows in year 6. Combined federal liability at end of year 6, $2.3 million owed. The cousin startup files Chapter 7 in year 6. He is listed as a creditor for $340,000 in convertible notes that the bankruptcy court treats as last priority unsecured. He recovers $11,400. The brother is in rehab in year 6. He paid for the rehab. The rehab is in Malibu at $34,000 a month for 90 days. The brother completes 31 days before walking out against medical advice. The brother returns to Knoxville. The brother does not call. The daughter from the first marriage, the one in Memphis, the one he bought the car for in year 2, calls in year 6 for the first time in 10 months. She is in graduate school. She needs help with a tuition shortfall after a financial aid revision. He sends her $17,000. She thanks him. She does not call again in year 6. He understands the call and the thank you as separate transactions and does not extend either into a conversation he is not in a position to sustain. He files the $17,000 under family transfers in the schedule he is now keeping at the new advisor's request on a single legal pad in the kitchen of the West Nashville rental. Trace the money backward. The new financial advisor, a different one, the first one having been quietly dismissed in year 5 after an SEC disclosure about a separate client matter, walks him through the spreadsheet in November of year 6. The $20.1 million net after-tax balance from year 1 is now at $4.8 million in liquid and semi-liquid assets, with the Brentwood house at $2.6 million in equity and the Florida residence at $1.4 million in equity, less the partner's settlement claim against it, which is pending. Real estate carrying costs alone across both houses, the slip, the fractional jet, and the security service, run at $312,000 a year. The foundation continues to draw $400,000 a year in operational overhead before disbursements. The big house goes on the market in year 6. It sells in year 7 at $2.2 million, a $400,000 loss versus purchase price, plus $180,000 in agent and closing fees. He moves into a rental in West Nashville at $4,800 a month, while the lawyers and the new advisor work on what the new advisor calls right-sizing the position.
The position will not right-size.
Year 8. The Chapter 7 petition. Filed at the United States Bankruptcy Court for the Middle District of Tennessee in March of Year 8. The docket number is public record. The Statement of Financial Affairs and Schedules A through J are public record. Pull the Chapter 7 filings on the PACER electronic docket, and the entire ledger of the previous 7 years is in front of you for 10 cents a page. Total scheduled debts, $1.84 million. Federal tax liability, $720,000 remaining after partial payment. State of Florida property tax shortfall, $34,000. The Escalade financing balance the ex-wife stopped paying 18 months into the settlement, $42,000. Credit card debt across 4 cards, $186,000.
Personal loans extended to family members across years 2 through 6 that were never written down as formal loans, that were never repaid in any quarter, that he listed honestly in Schedule F as unsecured non-priority claims, with the marginal notation treated by recipient as a gift, lent in good faith. $440,000. The Foundation Board Chair sued in Davidson County Chancery Court for unpaid directors' fees and operational reimbursements, $87,000. Legal fees from the 4 lawsuits closed in his favour across years 3 through 7, $215,000 paid, 0 recovered. The Brentwood mortgage discharge from the sale at loss, $180,000. The fractional jet exit fee, $43,000. Scheduled assets, $214,000 in the rental security deposit and personal property. The 1998 F150, same truck, at 2800 Kelly Blue Book.
A Rolex Datejust purchased in Year 3 at 9400 retail, now liquidated at the pawnshop on Charlotte Pike for $4,800. The case is administered. The trustee files a no-asset report. The Section 341 meeting of creditors is held in May. He is sworn in. He answers the trustee's questions. He receives the discharge order in August of Year 8. The financial press does not run a story on the discharge. The discharge order is public but boring. The story ran in Year 3 and in Year 4. The discharge is the kind of news the financial press does not stage a follow-up on. The Hankins, Hoekstra and Skiba paper cites bankruptcy filings like his as data points, not as profiles. The data point is what they are interested in. The man on the data point goes back to a rental on a $4,800 lease he can no longer cover, then to a smaller rental, then to the cousin's spare room. Year 15. The Auto Parts Counter. AutoZone store on Route 70 in Cookeville, Tennessee. He moved from West Nashville to Cookeville in Year 10 to be closer to a different cousin, not the startup one, who had room in a second-floor apartment in a building near downtown. He took the job at the AutoZone in Year 11. He works the parts counter on Tuesday through Saturday, the 3 to 11 shift, $16 an hour, plus the modest SSI disability check his lower back qualified for after the November of Year 9 fall he took at the Brentwood property during the move-out, which he had been working off as much as the back allowed in the years between. The check covers the rent on the cousin's spare room and the modest contribution he insists on making to the cousin's household expenses. The job covers groceries, gas, and the monthly statement on a credit card he has been rebuilding since the discharge. He does not tell the customers at the counter that he was the man on the press conference podium in 2015. Some of them recognize him in Year 11. Fewer recognize him in Year 15. The recognitions are mostly silent. A customer who recognizes him will ask for a brake pad set and pay for it and walk to the door before saying anything. Most do not say anything. The Saturday night shift ends at 11. He walks across the parking lot of the Strip Plaza to the Dollar General store anchoring the south end of the lot, which closes at 11:30 on weekends. He does not go inside. He stands in the parking lot in the November cold of Year 15 and watches the lottery counter through the south-facing front window. The advertised Powerball jackpot is on the marquee, a number in the 200 million range that scrolls every 12 seconds across the LED display. There is a line at the counter. The line is 6 people. 2 of the 6 are wearing the same kind of work jacket he wore in October 2015. You realize at year 15 that the 20.1 million was never yours. The 20.1 million was your previous life's last inheritance, and you spent it the way your previous life had taught you to spend inheritances. And you are now the same man you were on a Tuesday in October 2015, except without the patience for the same small kitchen, and without the willingness of the same small circle to receive you back at the table. Reading the field literature on this for the past several months, and the field literature on this is unusually robust, because lottery winners are one of the very few wealth event populations who consent to be longitudinally studied. What comes through is not the conclusion that the win destroys the winner. The literature is more careful than that.
The literature says the win arrives with a velocity the winner's existing relational infrastructure cannot absorb at the rate of arrival, and the infrastructure either expands at survivable speed under qualified pre-event coaching, or it ruptures. Most of them rupture. Most of them rupture in the second and third year, when the money is sufficient to upgrade the visible life, but not yet sufficient to manage the relational consequences of the upgraded visible life. Dollar General. The same chain, not the same store. That store is 200 miles to the east in Cleveland County, the one across the road from the meatpacking plant he worked at for 9 years. This Dollar General is on Route 70 in Cookeville, near the AutoZone he works at. Same kind of high-pressure sodium light over the same kind of weeknight line. He sits in the truck. The truck is the same 1998 F-150 he sat in on the morning of October 8, 2015, in his old driveway in Cleveland County before he went into the house and showed his wife the ticket. The truck has 247,000 miles on it now. The bed has rust on the wheel, well, that was not there in 2015. A man in a work jacket walks out of the Dollar General holding a single Powerball ticket. He cannot read the ticket from the truck. He does not need to. He starts the engine. He drives home.